No, not really.
Good. So now where are we? So we have to make a Jenkins setup, right? So, what was this file? Okay, I'm writing for you guys. Okay. Let's do that. It's okay. That's some notes. So,
Vandana,
tell me.
before you start, I just wanted to clarify one thing. Actually, I tried using Git and GitHub, so I was pretty much okay with the functionality and using it, committing and everything. But I just wanted to know how does that look in a real-time environment? I mean, will you be
Okay.
telling how it looks? I mean, right now or in later sessions, what in real time?
So
How does it work?
I'll tell you. How does this JIT and no, where do we use them exactly? So coming to it. So everywhere in a project actually. So how it goes is, it's not you who will be alone working on a project, but it would be few other people who would be working. But coming to role of a DevOps engineer, more or less specific. So a developer checks in different versions of code every day. Probably some different versions of code is checked in every day. So in that scenario, how are you going to, what do you say, take care of it? Okay. So let's say I've checked in a version, you have come, you have checked in a version, fine. So now the person who's trying to understand should at least know what is the commit that is made, okay, and every time a commit is made, it has to be built, okay. So more or less it would be something like this. So from GitHub, there would be a trigger configured to Jenkins, which would automatically do a build, or which will accumulate all the pushes to a GitHub repository and do a build once a day or once in so many hours, okay, so that your code is built or continuously integrated with your existing repository, okay. So the same commands, so if you are using a plugin, you'll not be using push, pull and everything, because it would do it in like from a developer's end. He will be doing a git clone, he'll be doing a git push, he will be doing add, commit, everything he'll be doing. But coming here, we will not be using any of the commands, but we will just use a plugin to do our operations, okay.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
The question is answered.
Yeah, it's answered.
Real
And
time environment, yeah, yeah,
Vandana, uh,
yeah, go ahead.
can you please differentiate me the duties of version control kit and continuous integration Jenkins?
Okay, totally
So
different stuff.
when do we use when do we use Git or when do we use Jenkins? Because both
Both
have
will,
functionality, right?
no, no, both are totally different subject, from misconception. So GitHub is only a source code management repository. Okay, so it is having your source code, okay, which is versioned. Version means you have committed a change now. It is version which this time is committed at 719 with version ID 12345 something. So you commit the change after 1 hour. It is at 820 and it is versioned with, you know, 789 something. Okay. So now GitHub is only a place where your code is stored with versioning, okay? So that in a DR or a disaster recovery system, the old version is revoked back so that the system is not down all the time, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's the major scenario, major, most extreme use case of a GitHub, okay? That's it. Coming to Jenkins, Jenkins is like a flow controller. You can actually, I do call it as a flow controller. Okay, so one Jenkins job would carry multiple, multiple tasks. Okay, so it integrates GitHub with Jenkins. Okay, and it acknowledges Jenkins. GitHub from Jenkins, it tries to get an acknowledgement every time a commit is made. Okay, so every time a commit is made, it gets to know, and after knowing it, it is up to us what all operations we want to do after that. And not only that, it will build your code, it will test your code, okay, it will artifact your code, it can even deploy your code, okay, and it can integrate a lot of services. Like it has a plugin for integrating Amazon Web Services, it has a plugin to integrate whatever SVN, JIT, okay, and some other Nagios, whatever it is, it has a plugin to integrate, okay. So it integrates all those services together and tells it, boss, after this step do this, after this step do this, okay. It's executed systematically, which clearly shows that it is a flow controller, okay. But most purpose which they use would be, they would be using it to build the code first. That's the first sure use case scenario. And second case would be a flow controller.
So Spandana, we can build the code, we can test the code and deploy the code using Jenkins, right?
Yeah, right.
Uh, can we do then? Can we do the same in Maven too? Why do we use Maven?
Maven, yeah, with Maven also, Maven is used for build, okay. It can be used and it can be used to deploy as well. But
Okay.
Maven, you're going to use only Maven, okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do a Maven deployment, then you can use Maven, okay,
Okay.
purely. But what if your environment doesn't want a Maven deployment? It needs some other deployment, okay.
Okay.
So
So both
Maven,
are similar functionalities, right? Jenkins, Maven, and uh, they are completely different.
no, they're not similar.
Okay.
Maven and Ant are a small part, are small plugins which can be used with Jenkins. Jenkins is a huge topic.
Okay.
I'll show you. We'll just log in. You get to understand.
And Maven is not a continuous integration tool, right?
No, no. It's just a build plugin, or Maven has extends its support to Jenkins as just a small build plugin. There's something I just opened to. So it is my Ubuntu instance. So the -9. one more thing. So whenever we are working with any of the GUIs, so always use your credentials. Don't, without switching to root in a normal or a work environment, never switch to root into until unless you have so much experience or proficiency, because going with root will override, it has all permissions, so even there are any warnings also it will not display us, but go ahead and does all the changes or whatever stuff it is. So always go with a normal user privileges user, and then whenever it asks you you want to use root permissions, give sudo. It will ask you for a password, then you can go ahead. That's a better option, okay, if at all it is enabled for you. So OpenJDK and OpenJRD has to be installed initially first, that is Java has to be installed, okay. So once Java is installed, we can go ahead and install Jenkins. That's the only prerequisite we have. Why about? Install Java. Now Java is installed. So after installing Java, I need to get a Debian. wget is used to get something from internet, okay, via a link. Did I explain it to you? Wget google.com, it hits Google, sorry, hits Google and saves a index.html file. There's some data. Now it is sitting a Google page and saving it, okay. I'm doing wget, okay, https colon Jenkins org Debian somewhere org key, and that key I'm adding it, okay, and then getting a Debian from there, a binary file.
Spandana,
Hmm?
where do we get that key? I mean, you're getting a key,
Yeah,
right?
key,
Wget
key, key.
Debian key.
Yeah. Yeah. This added to etc apt source slot list. So new file, it says Here it is actually supposed to fetch it and save it. Separate file vi Jenkins.list it and save it. With a limit link. Realize work here now. Copy it properly. So okay. Can slash etc slash app slash okay. There's no nearby missing or from any other source. What is it for the another package? Okay. To buy another package from another source. There's no installation can get it and get saved. Okay. Sometimes this links. Let's try it out manually. What is it returning? Which you see what was it I forgot apt. Or Let's see what is it also giving. We run it. Why? If I missed something up. Says okay. The GPG key is not copied properly here. There's HTML file, then it's wrong. GPG key, that's wrong. Let's get a key and paste it there. How much more is it there? Right. DD. Okay, good. Let's try to save it. Or else the link might have been gone because there is a new version which has come. Just run like this. Right, hold on, it's here, changes, right? Yeah. I see it. It's just a script. Wiki. Only 104. Yeah. So what happened to this? Control C. And it works. HTTPS, were you getting it from the same site? Key hyphen, add hyphen, okay. So after hyphen it would be a new command from here. You can always follow key link for installations and all stuff. It gets updated time to time for the Debian, because probably the Debian version which I'm trying to hit is not found or something. So it says install Jenkins, it says install. Again I'll do, it says it is of newly installed and it is 0 to be updated and 0 newly installed. It's all updated. Okay, so now it's just small installation, but there's a lot to do here. Service Jenkins status, it shows you status is not running with, is running with a PID 11291. It says that server is running with the process ID 11291. So it's already our Jenkins, whichever is installed, has started running. Okay, so whenever Jenkins is getting installed, it creates a user for it, a user named Jenkins. Okay, and all the log files can be found in var log jenkins.log. Okay, and your configuration details can be checked from etc initd.jenkins. First we'll check all of this and then we will go with other steps. Okay, so sudo su Jenkins is switched my user to root. It has a user Jenkins. Okay, as a permission denied. It doesn't have access to everywhere, but it has access to entire access on var lib. Let's go to var lib. I want to show you something. See, there is one folder Jenkins for which what is the user which is owning it. This Jenkins is the user which is owning it, which has full permissions on it. Okay, cd Jenkins, and now What do you have inside it? Just have a, remember it. You have some file, you have some logs, you have a secret key, whatever it is. Some tasks logs is there. Okay. So var lib Jenkins. There will be a log file in var lib Jenkins which will be created once Jenkins, any of the Jenkins build is run. Then only you have all these nodes, plugins, secret key jobs. These are all actually not files but folders which will get updated once any build is done or it is synced with the GUI. Okay. vi/etc init.d/Jenkins. Please, what is the service name? Jenkins Continuous Integration Server. And here shows you how it is it going to load the environment, how is it going to start, how is it going to stop. All those functionalities would be written inside of this. Okay. So one important place to check is check TCP port HTTP. HTTP port is 8080. Okay. So it clearly specifies what is the HTTP port. Okay. So now if I have to change port, I have to change it in etc init.d Jenkins. Here I have to change my HTTP port. Okay. And etc sysconfig / Jenkins. There also there will be a port number specified. etc sys. Okay. Sysctl. Okay. Yes. Systemd. The sysconfig D in few machines and systemd in few machines. We'll get it once it is synced. Okay. Just an update. Okay. We thought we'll look at the Jenkins user. We have seen it. We didn't see the log file /var log. There are different logs here. And we have a log file here which gives the entire log of Jenkins so far. Whatever is done, it is having a log over here. Okay, running from user share Jenkins.var file. There's a var file which is saved here. From that file it is running, whatever it is. Okay, so got your Jenkins log, var log Jenkins, Jenkins.log. So now configuration details we have checked in etc init.d.jenkins, right? So here it clearly shows us that what was the HTTP port we have seen, 8080. So with which we can understand that a default port on which Jenkins would be running is 8080. Okay. So, but if this port is used by any other service, let's say your Apache is running on it or some other service is using this port, then Jenkins will not be able to access this port. In that scenario, when you say service Jenkins start or restart or something, it will not be able to start it because the port number is not available. Then you have to quickly jump in and change the port number in etc init.b, okay, and restart your Jenkins server so that it will try to pick up a new port number and then get started on a new port number. We'll do it later time. Okay. Jenkins, I told you it's a master and slave configuration. So by default, any node which we are starting is a master node. Okay. So as on a slave node, no Jenkins configuration needs to be done. The configuration should be done only on a master machine. There is no need for any installations on your slave machine. Colon 8080. Okay, I didn't show the dashboard now, sorry. So this is your Jenkins GUI which you have got after installing Jenkins. Okay. So what is all there over here? Quickly have a look at it. So it says some new item, some people, build history, manage Jenkins, credentials, and it says create a new job. When you say create a new job, it actually takes to create new item. It can show you here. See, new item Jenkins. So if you want to create any project, you can choose different types of project we have. A freestyle project, a Maven project in which a Maven plugin is already pre-configured, okay, some external job, and a multi-configuration project, okay. So in a multi-configuration project, you have different configurations. So that it could be used for in a heavy applications or when you want to do some heavy tasks. In that scenario, multi-configuration would be used. Okay, mostly how they do is they create different projects and try to upstream and downstream, means interlink all those projects together so that at least one project failure would not be affecting the other one. That's a way they do it. Okay. Chalo. So we have seen what is a new item. Here we are trying to create a job. So what is a job? We'll create and see and then come back. This is my job wherein I have few stuff like the description of my job, and when if I should discard my old builds, okay, and disable new builds, and so that I can run concurrent builds if necessary, okay. And coming to advanced project options, you have a quiet period. Means a quiet period means in which the setup becomes quiet or idle, okay. And what is the retry count for which you have to try, and block builds. You want to block any build, you have to specify here, okay. And the name, whatever it is, that could be told here. Source code management. What source code management do you want? You want to use CVS or Subversion or Jet should be installed as a plugin, then only to look here, okay. And what is a build trigger? Build after other projects are built, and build periodically means build periodically at so and so time, okay, or so and so hours, that you can see. Or poll SCM. Poll SCM is one option which you have to remember. So poll source code management, SCM means. So what is the source code management repository? We specify it to keep on polling there and check whether there is any change. If there is any change, it will trigger a build. I told you it is automated from Jenkins. So this is the parameter which should be written over here. Okay, poll SCM. It will ask you to write something. We have to write it after we check it. Okay. There is a build step. There is a post build action. In build step, I have execute shell, invoke and top level maven target. So you can invoke a top level maven target, invoke and, okay, or do and execute a small shell script and do a build, or execute a Windows batch command and do a build. Okay. Post build actions. What is an upstream job and what is a downstream job? So, read about it today. What is an upstream job and what is a downstream job? Just read about it and let me know tomorrow. Okay. So how to archive the artifacts. So whatever data you're getting after a job is getting generated or executed, you'll have few set of files like jar files, var files, HTML file, whatever it is. We will all artifact or collect all the deployables and create an artifact out of it, so that it is nothing but a zipped folder out of it. Okay. So an artifact is nothing but a zipped folder of all the deployables or setup. Okay. Whatever it is, email notification, everything. So if you made any changes, you can go ahead and simply save the project. Coming here, you have status of the project. You want any changes of the project? I'll speak about this later. Build now. Just to build this job, delete this project and configure. We are already in configure, so it is block in a blocklet I am showing it. So we are in configuration page. This is where we will configure a project. Coming to workspaces. So this is nothing but the folder which is created to store all the data related to or specific to this project. It is created for every job. You will have workspace. It will be created or synced only for the first time when a job is built. Unless and until a job is built, it will not create a workspace for you. Okay. There are people. You can always check people who are all users who all are added to this environment. So adding a user is a different scenario, but from people we can check it. Okay. So build history. Just check the build history of Jenkins. It shows it's not respective to a project, but entire Jenkins. So whenever it is getting built, it gives you graphical representation stuff. Okay. Important part, manage Jenkins. So many options under it. So from here you can configure your system and configure system. Security can be configured in configure global security. Okay. And I'll show you each explaining and going off. So it says what is the home directory? Var lib Jenkins. Okay. So and here you have options to configure. You can configure Ant, Maven, Java, and some other stuff like CVS for a shell, and email notification. What is the email ID which should be used? Everything could be configured from this place. Even though you install any plugins in future which needs some configuration, default they're becoming configured. It needs some configuration probably with respect to versions or something also. That should be checked or done from this place only, configure system, okay. Configure global security. Now if we click on enable security, it shows you how many types of security can be used, okay. So Jenkins own user database can be used, Unix shell scripting group database or LDAP, whatever, these are all the security database stuff, okay. So because credentials would always be stored in a database, so through which database it has to check for the credentials, okay. So it says any authorization, any logged in user can do anything. You just see more, okay. Logged in users can do anything, and matrix based security, projects based authorization strategy. So it's a matrix based or a probably something like this, wherein it shows you a matrix to all the users and groups, okay. So all the users you can specify it, what all could be done overall. So and so works could be done in credential section, so and so could be done in slave, so and so could be done in job, so and so could be done, okay. So this is for an overall, but the next option is something to do it at a project level, okay. So relate configuration from disk. If at all there is some configuration from disk, okay, or else you have made changes to the config.xml file in var lib Jenkins, you get a config.xml file, okay. So if you have made any changes to config.xml file and you want that to reflect here, okay, so how do you do it? Just click reload configuration from disk, so it will copy all the configuration whichever is present in disk, it will reload it to that status or set it to the configuration which is present on the disk, okay. And manage plugins, this is where we actually install plugins. The most important part is managing plugins, or here we have 4 sections. Updates, whatever plugins are installed, you get it will show you if at all any update has come for this, okay. And what are the available plugins, what are the installed plugins which are already installed. These are installed, and these are installed plugins which needs an update, okay. Going to advanced section, it has some proxy, port number, username and password, that's it. Okay, so you have
Spandana,
system, yeah.
we can install external plugins, anything into this Jenkins?
Yeah, Jenkins has few list of plugins, okay. So we will see it in next class because we are going to install few of them tomorrow. So whatever plugins you don't find it in the list of available plugins can be customized and written as you can write your own plugin, okay. So whatever regjet or whatever it is, if it is already there in Jenkins, you can go ahead and quickly install it and use it, or else it is all about installing it. Sorry, it's all about writing it on your own, okay.
Okay.
You have to code, do a little bit of coding to write a plugin on your own. So system information, it displays all the system information, assistant troubleshooting, and system log, you have all the log here, okay. So I'll do one thing, what last class material and this class material, I share it with Shiva in next half an hour or 1 hour, so that he can share it with you. Just try to make an installation so far. So we'll try to look at all, we'll configure jobs and we'll run them from tomorrow, so that whatever I'm doing here, you can do it parallelly. It takes, you can spend half an hour or 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes every day, and try it on your own, okay. So now just be ready with the setup. Even though you, if at all, it's getting late, just go to wiki and open Jenkins and just try to install Jenkins on your setup. Okay. So what is the only prerequisite? Java. That's it. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Chalo then. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah. You'll be giving the material, right?
Yeah, I'll be giving it. If at all you're getting late, just use it from wiki as well. I'll share it in an hour. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Yes. Sajikan, kemana?